Hey everybody. So we are here in Las Vegas, Nevada, waiting on a train which I think is coming there in the distance. We're currently in this beautiful drainage ditch here, one of the many drainage systems outside of Las Vegas, Nevada, but we have a train down here. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it will be my ride out of here. I'm hoping to get to Los Angeles, Colton Yard. Right here we're sitting on the, I'm actually not sure the name of the line, but the line that goes between North Platte, which is the eastern, not terminus, but the next interchange here, and Colton Yard, which is in that direction, down past the yard in West Colton, California. I've passed up a really long, nice international / domestic container train here earlier today, but it was right when I got here, and they were checking the engines and doing some inspections of the train, so I decided to hang out for a bit, and this is about 3 hours later. And then now we have this thing in the distance, and we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, this appears to be a Herzog gravel train, which is not my bag, so we'll be waiting another few hours, I would assume. If this was the train that was waiting for that last IM train I was just talking about to pass and leave the yard, this is going to be a long time, because one of the lowest priority, if not the lowest priority, below coal, below GM, below anything. So, I'm gonna be here for a bit. What do we have here? Got 5 units leading a GM, it looks like. Please God, don't just be tanks. Ah, GM it is. Good morning. Welcome to the Cima subdivision once again, here in the middle of the Mojave Desert. We are currently, as you might be able to see from the photos, in an empty auto rack. Something that I've never had the pleasure of riding in before. It is nice in here, spacious, out of the wind, hidden. Very impressed with this ride. It's something that I found. Oh, looks like we're airing up and getting out of here again. Yeah, something that I found yesterday evening was a chore in Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to edit any of that footage in or not because it was dark the whole time, but I ended up trying to wait at the northern end of the yard for a train yesterday evening, and a few trains came, but they didn't ever stop at the north end of the yard. And so I had the bright idea to walk to the south end of the yard from the north end, and it was a long way. And the last train that I saw that made me decide to move from the north to the south end was this train, because it just passed me up and just went all the way to the south. And I didn't think I was going to make it. It took me a long, like probably 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour to walk back to the south end of the yard from the north end. And I was watching the Fred the whole time for this train. And lo and behold, when I finally got to the south end of the yard, here was this train, auto racks and all, sitting behind like multiple other strings. And when I came up to it, I looked at the auto racks from the rear and went past the Fred, and we're like the third car from the end. And this is what I found: an empty auto rack. Finally! For once in my life, I can ride an auto rack. But right now, yeah, we're in the middle of the Mojave, trying to get some footage of this line. It is nice out here. shoot, being in Eurimo when I went from Eurimo to the SLC episode. It's pretty nice, the tamarisk and whatnot. Camping under the bridge on the Mojave River here. Something to note is on that side, so this side is desert, that side is a military base. So do not fuck around on that side of this bridge that we're going on here. I've heard of at least one person being arrested that I know of over there, going a little bit too far in that direction. But yeah, here's this nice bridge over the Mojave River, and got the I-40 over there in the distance. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to go down to this junction of the UP main line that comes down from Salt Lake City and joins up with the BNSF Transcon down here. And the train's probably going to sit here for a while, as it normally does. Union Pacific has to ask permission from the BNSF dispatchers to be able to get on to BNSF track to go through Barstow. And when it goes through Barstow, it travels along the BNSF Transcon for a while before it branches back off on the UP track to go over the Cajon Pass, or I think it's the Cajon Pass, I don't remember, whatever pass it is that goes by Mount Borneo or something like that, over into Los Angeles, over the mountains in Los Angeles. So we're probably going to sit here for forever because UP is like the lowest priority. Even coal trains and BNSF have higher priority than the GM and UP trains do. But we're going to sit here for a minute. I'm probably going to get out and enjoy the nice tamarisk trees. And I come back to my apartment that we have here. Anyway, update soon. Okay, so we're stopped here. Like I said in the last clip about waiting for clearance to get onto the BNSF Transcon, I thought it'd be a good time to do a little short about the car that I'm in. So this is the first time I've ever been able to ride in an empty auto rack. I've tried before, but it's just, I guess the time wasn't ever right, because I've run into multiple empty auto racks before. I just haven't wanted to take them because the problem is with this car is that if you do ride in one of these, you can't like get out of the car and walk around or like view outside of the train. But the trip that I'm on specifically right now, I wanted stealth to be the ultimate priority. So this is probably the best car you can possibly be in for stealth. I mean, the Canadian Grainer, like I keep saying in my other videos, are pretty nice, but this one, I mean, you're completely encompassed pretty much by sheet metal with holes in it and the doors on either end. Yeah, it's essentially, I mean, like these, there's multiple kinds of auto racks. These ones are these like half moon doors that you can open up if you know how to do that correctly. They're a pain in the ass and they're super heavy, so it's difficult. But there's two levels. So there's the level that I'm on here, as well as that level up there. And if you're on the top level, I mean, even during like a inspection, like a brake inspection, there's no possible way that anybody could ever know you're in here, unless they, you know, fly a drone in there or something, like get up and look in the second level. But if you're up there, I mean, you could ride cross country if you wanted to, if you know where the train's going. But yeah, it's nice, you know. They usually have loaded automobiles in here. Back in the day, what I've heard, I've never done this, but I mean, back in the day, these things used to be a lot easier to get into. There weren't like walls on the side like this. And you can just get in and ride in the cars, apparently. Open the door, start the engine, have some heat, radio, all kinds of shit. But that would be spectacular. Maybe one of these days that'll be a possibility, but it's also
really teetering on the edge of a simple like trespassing charge to like breaking and entering if you were caught. Something probably I wouldn't ever want to do just because of the risk. But yeah, we're just waiting here. But the whole reason I was saying you can't like get out of the car and walk around is because there is literally nothing in this car to like hold on to get in or out of it. As you can see, I'll show you here. I mean, you got the knuckle, which is the thing that we obviously shouldn't be on, right? One of the first rules of train safety: do not fuck with that thing. Don't touch it. Don't be on it. But there is that step right there, and that's it. There's some ladders on the side, but to get in and out of this thing, you're basically between the train cars, and they call that, I don't know what the train workers call it. I think it's called the I want to say danger zone, but something like that. When they're in between the cars and the train is aired up, and there's an engine on the front end of it. But yeah, if you get out of this, I mean, you have to jump down onto the tracks between the cars and then walk down, and then to get back up, you have to come back up and touch that knuckle in order to get back in. I mean, you could step on like the brake hoses and shit, but it's dangerous, and it's not, you know, something that you'd ever want to do unless you were getting in and out of the car, you know, and you know that's, you're not gonna have to get back in it. Yeah, I mean, this is also like a spectacular, you know, view of like the knuckle and what that, you know, does in the train. I mean, essentially, if people are watching that don't know what this is already, this is how the train gets coupled together. There's these outside arms here that are actually attached to the car, and then these inside knuckles, this little like yin-yang pattern that's in there. You pull out this pin right here, and that knuckle, or that knuckle, either one, what that does is it stops it from swinging outward. When you pull that pin, that'll swing outward, and the cars can get decoupled. And you know, they like have that pin outward, and then when they back the train up, you know, it'll couple into it, and they pop the pin back in, attach these brake hoses with that connection that's right down there, and yeah, they brake the air with these, you know, air bars there. And yeah, that's what I know about trains, at least. Not a lot. I'm not a fucking, you know, employee of Union Pacific, but it's good to have a basic understanding of, you know, how all this works and what it does. Like when you see this knuckle can go with it, especially in auto racks, there's an amount of distance that the knuckle goes in and out of the car to allow for braking, and so basically so that when they start and stop the train, it doesn't just break the freaking thing. So there's like a giant spring inside of it, and these go in and out a few feet. In auto racks, this goes in and out a lot more than most cars. I don't know why that is, but like you'll see all that silver there, that goes all the way in and then all the way back out. So it's got a good, like, you know, 2 feet of travel or so on either side. So it's like 4 feet per junction of cars. And yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and wait, go to LA. I'm hoping to go to LA, and I don't know. I'm gonna try to get to Colton. What I'm thinking, like this train, like what I was talking about, getting in and out of the car, it's gonna make it difficult getting to West Colton, because when this thing pulls into the yard, it's super exposed to get on and off the car there. It might stop before the yard. That'd be great. But if it doesn't, I might get pulled into the arrival yard. I'm gonna have to just wait until the engine just like decouples from the train, and then try to find my way out of that yard. But it's huge. Luckily, it'll be probably dark when I get there, but I don't know. I don't like West Colton, as you saw the last time. So we'll see what happens.
So we're coming up to the junction with the BNS Transcon. San Francisco. Right there you can see the tracks. And this is in Daggett, California is where this junction is. There's a whole bunch of switching signals going on here at this junction. razor wire on the other side, but something important. Some rich motherfucker that doesn't want to be messed with. I don't know, but I haven't seen razor wire surrounding a train yard or a train track like this for a long time. No, there's somebody important or something important up there. Look at that. That motherfucker might have just seen me right here, so I gotta be careful. God. Nobody did. Man, I don't know. Let's see what happens. safely off the train here in West Colton. I don't think I scared the worker I was talking to, but he certainly was wondering what the fuck I was doing there. It was cool though. I believe my exact words were, "What's the quickest way out of here?" That's what you replied. Down there by the overpass, of which I'm at the moment. I didn't know where the fuck this train was going. This shit, I mean, it went all the way past the departure yard, the sorting yard, and the arrival yard. But I should have known that, because it went past the arrival yard and it's gonna back into it. Thank God I got off when I did. So we're sitting here at the West Colton yard, safely departed off the train, and just doing some reconnaissance in the departure yard here. It looks like we got so many trains, not in so many directions. I mean, the trains out of here run either north, northeast, or east. And trying to figure out, just, I mean, there's so many damn trains here, as you can see. I'm trying to figure out which one is which and which one to get on to go back to Vegas. A lot of trains. How's it going, everybody? I'm sitting here in a ditch currently, surrounded by what I'm gonna guess is fuel tanks. Anyway, yeah, we made it down to West Colton, and I've just been trying to find a place to hang out during the day here, because I got here last night, slept, woke up, and just trying to find a place that's, you know, safe, out of the way. People aren't gonna mess with me, you know. And I found one of these famous Los Angeles drainage tunnel system things. And it's pretty nice. Here I'm gonna go explore up in there. That's like towards, like, it goes under the yard up there. Probably end up checking that out. Maybe check out that pile of flood debris down there. But yeah, it's been an okay morning, and I'm just basically waiting to, you know, just wait till dark to get the fuck out of here. I mean, last night I went to check out the yard, and it is like, I don't know, West Colton has a lot of shit going on all the time. And I was sitting at the spot to get into the yard, just like check it out last night, and there was just so much crap happening. I mean, there was like crew vans coming in and out. There was fucking engines coming in and out of the engine facility that's north of there. There was trains coming out of the, like, departure, or not the departure yard, but the classification yard, pulling into the departure tracks. And just, there were bulls, there was cops, which was weird. Everything, like, everything was going on, and that was at like 1 in the morning. So I'm sure it'll be spectacular here in a couple of hours, you know, once it gets dark. At probably like 6 or whatever it gets dark now. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for that, hang out in this ditch, which is pretty nice, honestly. It's pretty quiet. Go into the yard and see what happens. Till then. So we're sitting here in Colton at the spot, and there's some yard dogs that are pushing some oil cars in front of the string that I want. It's super difficult, this yard. I swear to God, it's gonna be a challenge to get what I want out of here. I'm in
two, engine facilities here on either side of where I'm at. And there's multiple strings of cars. I think that I need the right string of cars to go the way that I want to, which is northeastbound. But yeah, it's just difficult. Oh, what's going on, everybody? Coming to you live from Yermo, California again. I'm sitting in this bush here, this tamarisk grove that I actually put down last time we were here, this rug, which is actually a pretty nice, rug. And I put some benches and stuff here too. But the last time I came through here, I was driving my van and I was coming to come scope this crew change out. And I drove my van under this railroad bridge right here. Same one we were hanging out under in the Yermo to Salt Lake City episode. And totally got stuck in the sand because it's a two-wheel drive Ford van. And so I came up here remembering I'd put all this stuff up here in this jungle and used it to get my van unstuck, laid out some boards and stuff. But we got Guillermo holding it down here, and we are going to head out and see if anything comes tonight. Yeah, so the story is, I mean, we got out of West Colton, obviously, and then I got to Barstow here, and I took the bus over here to Yermo, and so now I'm going back to Vegas, and I am supposed to be at work tomorrow. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to call in because I legitimately am sick. I got food poisoning in San Bernadino. And it was shit, and I feel like absolute crap. There was a post on Reddit, on the anti-work Reddit page, on the r/vagabond page, saying what makes you the most sick of being out on the road today. And I had a lot to say about that. Too cold, too much alcohol, not enough sleep, not enough food, blah, 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 blah. I can just go on bitching for forever right now, but I won't do that because it is time to go and we need to train. So I will step out of my mangrove of tamarisk here, and there should be something coming, usually right around dark. It's like 5 o'clock or so. Usually there's always something coming right at this time, so hopefully I'll be on my way to Vegas later today. Sitting out here in the Mojave Desert really does give you some time to reflect and just appreciate the things that are around you. And around me right now, I mean, I've got millions of acres of Mojave Desert. And even though some of it is totally screwed up from, human habitation and dumping and whatnot, I mean, you still have the desert ecosystem out here alive and well. Well, I don't know about well, but it is alive still. You can see, I just actually noticed that if you look out there, there's some massive fire. Something was on fire for a while out there. It's just Amboy Crater erupting, taking out the entirety of Amboy and Shameless, or whatever that other town is over there.
But anyway, yeah, so just walking around. So where we are right here is, it's the drainage for the Mojave River, which is like 95% dry for the entirety of the Mojave River. It's right here. That's what this bridge is, with the railroad going over it. And it just, there usually is some spots that pop up where the water comes above ground. Those places that I've seen this year and last year are going away, because I mean the Mojave Desert is one of the driest places in the world, obviously, and it only has so much to give in terms of like supply that it can, you know, hold on to water wise and nutrient and the soil wise. But I mean, it all depends on getting moisture in the desert. It's the most important thing, obviously. And like looking around, I mean, I've been all over the southwestern US over the past few months on multiple different trips, and I just constantly see this. If you look at this old growth creosote bush right here, I mean, you can see the brown aura that it has on the flowering part of the plant. And you can see it here, you can see it here. I mean, these green up a lot when it rains, just like most desert plants do. But I mean, this is, I mean, if you look at it, this plant is dying. And a lot of these other creosote bushes have been dying as well. I mean, you can already see, I mean, if you just look out here, you can see that there's a little hint of green, but for the most part, it's browning out. And I've seen this all over the western US, or at least the southwestern US over the past few months. The pinyon juniper forests around Flagstaff, Arizona, and Moab, Utah, and Zion National Park are all browning out. A few years ago, we noticed that the pinyon pine trees, the pinyon pines, were starting to die because they require more moisture than the juniper trees in the same forest. And we had been in like a 20-25 year drought. And I noticed them starting to die off, you know, 5, 6, 7, you know, up to 10 years ago. But now when you look at the junipers, which are really hardy species out in the desert, the Utah and Rocky Mountain juniper trees, they're starting to brown around the edges. And when the junipers start dying off, you know you were in a mega drought. There's something seriously wrong with the ecosystem. If anybody, you know, is out there around, you know, southern Utah, northern Arizona, you know, New Mexico, Four Corners area, western Colorado, just take a look at what I'm saying. Like, drive down the roads and look on either side of you. Sometimes it's due to, you know, the road salt when you're going down a road corridor, but go out on the dirt roads where they're not using salt. Take a look, because it's seriously sad to see what's going on here. I don't want, like, to engage in any sort of political shit on this channel, but there is seriously something happening to the ecosystem. And we can do better as a species in terms of, you know, treating the only ecosystem that we have to survive in with a little bit more respect, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just sad, you know. Here we got some green ephedra going on. This thing looks like it's doing all right. But yeah, just waiting out in the Mojave Desert, waiting on trains, hopefully going back to Vegas, and we'll see what happens. Well, we got sundown here in the desert. I know that in the last clip I was talking about, you know, things dying out around here. And you might be wondering, oh, those tamarisks look pretty freaking good right now, huh? And those probably take a lot of water. Yeah, they do. And they are doing well, but simply because you can see right there,
They're being fed by a sprinkler system over here from, I believe it's the Marine Corps logistics base septic system. So that's the reason the tamarisk aren't dying. Which is, I don't know, it's kind of nice actually. It gives some shade in the freaking summertime around here. But anyway, we got these signals down there just lit up, and I think that means that there's something coming from the Yermo side and not going the opposite direction, going to LA. It's not where I'm going, but we'll see here. Well, look at that. Coming straight out of the Ogle Bush Tour 2020. This is where it all originated. Got one of my favorite people right there. I know you're out there on trains somewhere, Snail. Miss ya.